Hey, welcome to another tutorial. This one's going to be the UVAtlasAnimator. The UVAtlasAnimator is super useful for making animations or indicators within UI, or animations within a sort of scene that you want to save on resources. You can think of it like a sprite sheet, where a sprite sheet from an old video game has many frames, and the frames are all part of one image, and then the engine just moves along those frames. As an example here, I've got the gesture wheel 1.1. Check out for the video on the gesture wheel for more on that. Loaded it in, and you'll see the indicator in the bottom left here is going between a tick and a cross. And this is actually the same image, it's just being UV Atlas animated across. So what I'm going to do here is extract that image from the gesture wheel and show you how it's done. So give me a second to just extract that. So we go to the top of the gesture wheel, and then we get to the image here, and then I'm just going to need this here. There we go, that's all I needed. So here you'll see that there is the same image has two pictures in it. This can also expand to more, so I use it in the card deck I made, where there's 52 images. So what we need to do to set this up is we need, first of all, a material. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make a cube. Probably a quad actually would be better. Create new 3D model quad. It's because a quad is more sort of uniform here. And then we're going to have to add a material onto that. So it's useful for the UVAtlasAnimator to add its own material to control it. So if we go to Assets, we can do Materials here, and we're going to just add an unlit one, and then unlit. And this means this object itself has its own material. So we need to set this material to be the material on the object. Here we go. So now it's white. And then the texture needs to be this image here. So you'll see right now it's showing both. This is where we can add the UVAtlasAnimator. So we go here to, let's do blend mode, cut out as well, now it's transparent. So we only need two components for the UVAtlasAnimator. The first is the UVAtlasAnimator, so that is in transform drivers. So attach component transform drivers, UVAtlasAnimator. And then you'll see that one of the options here required is the Atlas info field. And for that we need a component called Atlas info. That is in rendering Atlas info. We drag Atlas info into Atlas info and it links up. And then for the scale field, we need to go and assign that to texture scale. And for offset, we assign that to texture offset. And then we need to, here, we need to say grid size is 2 by 1. And you'll see it's changed to be the tick now. If I change this back down to 1, I'll explain why we set that to 2. So you'll see here there's two images and they're side by side on the X. So there's 2, 1, 2, so the X is 2. If you have images going down, so on a different row, you can change that for Y. So say here we have the same image in the same sheet. So just imagine this is the same sheet. This would be a 2 by 2 grid, but we only have 2. So just setting undo. So just setting the Atlas 2 on the X is fine there. So now we can, on the UVAtlasAnimator, we can swap between the tick and the cross here by changing this frame value between 0 and 1. 0, 1, 0, 1. You can also drive the animator via logics. If we pull this out, you'll see here there's a frame property at the bottom. And what we can do here is we can plug in the question mark colon node here. So this is an operators question mark colon. Spawn this in, and then we'll need input int, and then we say here 0, and then here is 1. Plug this in, pull this out, and this will go from tick to cross via logics. And the setup we have here is exactly what's happening in the gesture wheel when I do this. Like exactly, word for word. Somewhere in the gesture wheel system there is exactly this logics node and exactly this logics node, and this value is driven by a double press detector, which is for another video, which determines if I've double pushed on my secondary or not. There you go, that's the UVAtlasAnimator. You can see it in my deck of cards too. I will briefly go over that one. So that is in public gadgets. You can also find it in Neos Essentials board games. And so you'll see here that I can pull off a card and turn it around, and this is the King of Spades. If I inspect the King of Spades, and go to the, I think it's on the root here. It's been a while since we've taken a look at this. Controller. That's on here. So you'll see here we have a big grid. This is all 52 cards images. So you'll see here Ace of Clubs, King of Spades, which is all the way down here. And then you'll see a UVAtlasAnimator here with its frame set to 51 and its atlas information set to 13 by 5, and that's because there's 13 across and 5 rows. So if I change this to 0, we'll expect to see the Ace of Clubs. And there you go. So all that happens here is when you pick a new card off the deck, it will look and see if there's an available card that it can draw from, and then it will set the UVAtlasAnimator to that frame and display that frame of my big image here. That's the UVAtlasAnimator. I hope that's helpful. I'll go over the cards in more detail in another video. They're cool. Try them out. They're in board games. Full 52 cards here. You can also enable the Joker button here to get the Jokers here and here. See you next time.